spend about $1 million a year doing research on our own. It might be what we call research on research, meaning how do you get, what have we learned and what can we learn if we research it about how you get normal people to come online and open up their lives? How do you do that? What's the reason? How much do you have to pay them? Are they biased over time? Is it different in China than it is in the United States? Think about the old ways that people would understand consumers, like a focus group. I mean, you have a focus group, you put 10 people in a room for an hour. Well, there are only 10 people. There's always one person who takes over the conversation. 3 people never talk. One of them is like, didn't belong there anyway. One person's flirting with somebody else. You finish, and they're gone. Like, even if it was great, you can't say, oh, wait a minute, I have one more question. They can't come back to you if something else occurs to them, and you end up having a videotape and a transcript, and it's hard to search through. So just think about that, and then think about what you can do now. With the magic of the internet, you can put 500 people, put them in a room, and have them there all the time. And if they're not doing the right thing, you can kick them out nicely. And it's easy to look, you can use analytics and look for themes, and you can ask them to do things. And if you manage it the right way, you have the pulse of the consumer at your fingertips. And so the idea of being able to be connected to people continuously and watch what happens in their lives and hear their perceptions of the world and watch them build relationships with and talk to each other is just really relevant. Every client community has 3 people on it, but there are 3 people who are running that community week after week after week. So they get to know the client, they get to understand what an insight is for that client, they know what the client's trying to accomplish so that whatever comes out is actionable, and they also really get to know the members of the community. Early in my career, I remember I messed up a project, and a client looked at me and he said, look, Diane, I don't want you to ever forget this. If you mess up, the worst thing that happens is we'll drop your business, but you'll go work on another project. If you mess up, I can lose my job. Don't ever forget that the risks and the consequences of problems for me as the client are much greater than for you. And I just never forgot that. So here is my really, really fancy office. But I must say that even though I have a kind of a cubicle, I have the best view in the city of Boston. So I just absolutely love this. And I know there are people who are in skyscrapers who think they have better views, but I love being close enough to really be able to see what's going on. I was standing here last week with Deval Patrick, who's the governor of Massachusetts, saying, look at this. I mean, this is the Innovation District in Massachusetts. It's an incredibly vibrant area. Lots and lots of startups out here. Everyone is moving down here. I think that Mayor Menino wants to make this his legacy.
Every day, more people are moving to the Innovation District to live, work, and play. We have housing tailored for entrepreneurs, businesses growing in high tech, healthcare, art and design, and startups. It will soon be home to one of the country's first public innovation centers, a critical space to support the innovation community.
Okay, so true story. You know how every little girl goes to ballet school and then the relatives all come over and they go, okay, honey, do a dance. I would come out from behind the curtain and I would do the Ivory soap commercial. I mean, I had memorized the ad, and my mom got me a bar of Ivory soap so I could do it, and I literally did the entire Ivory soap commercial. I was washing the dishes, a cake of Ivory soap fell out of my hands. No one else did this, but I always loved marketing. I loved selling, and it was just a natural place for me to go. It's great for me to remember where I came from, and to remember that you can never forget in marketing how you're not the customer. I remember once when I was at General Foods, and I was working there before it became acquired by Kraft. I was working in Maxwell House on Brim decaffeinated coffee, and I was on the team that rejected the ad campaign, fill it to the rim with Brim.
We're coming in. Bye. Mr. Lawrence loved the boat. He gave me the order.
Oh, way to go, partner. Let's have some coffee.
Only half a cup.
I thought you liked fresh brewed coffee.
I love it. It's the caffeine.
Look,
Brim decaffeinated coffee? Well, if it tastes this rich, fill it to the rim.
With brim.
I thought it was tacky, and it ultimately became like the second best, most awarded ad campaign in the history of Maxwell House. And always remembering that the assumptions and perspectives that you have right now in your life are not necessarily the same ones as the people who are buying the product. I mean, it's a lesson that you never forget. In our old space, we were in Watertown, we were on one floor, and we were going to build another floor, and they were going to put space in there so that we could have big employee meetings. And I looked at the architect, and I had been not very opinionated about what the space looked like. And I said to him, okay, I've decided what I want. And he said, what's that? I said, I want the cafeteria to look like Fenway Park. Everybody knows I'm a big baseball fan, so they made a cafeteria in Watertown that looked like Fenway Park. And the thing that was great about it was that not only did the employees love it, but whenever people came in for anything, clients, partners, whatever, they would all talk about it. We got to the point where a lot of associations, nonprofits, networks, anybody who wanted to have a meeting, who needed free space, we'd host them. So I think Communispace got known very quickly in Boston because everybody had been to Fenway Park for some kind of meeting. And when we announced that we were going to move downtown, everybody said, oh, you're moving? Like, are you going to create a Fenway Park down there? It was almost as if the answer was no, people would have been appalled. We actually got the employees to try to pick the moment in time that we wanted to capture on our scoreboard. It was the Red Sox were playing the Yankees, and we were losing 10-9. And after that brawl, everything turned around. We ended up winning this game, and we ended up winning the World Series. So there are a lot of morals to the story that are all about not giving up, about how everybody plays, about how anything is possible, you know, about how you should believe in miracles, that so much of this for me is like a miracle. I think right now we have 22 job openings. Some of that is Boston. We have openings in Shanghai, in Sydney, in London, in New York, in Chicago. We'll say to somebody, look, we can't offer you a job now. Here's your feedback. Here's why. Go learn some stuff and come back again. We have 6,500 resumes. So I always say to people, if you get a job here, you must be great. So thank you for saying yes. I think that there are some amazing women entrepreneurs in the city, and it's no longer true that there aren't women who are doing this. There are women who are doing it, who are raising lots of venture money, who are running great companies, who have amazing ideas. I wish there were more, and I think I'm very optimistic that there will be more because the women who are doing it are really, really dedicated to just being role models and being supportive as possible, and when we can, investing money in female-led startups. You know, doing the entrepreneur thing, you know, if you have the stomach for it, is, you know, other than being a mom, it's the most exhilarating thing I've ever done in my life. And, you know, you can tell I'm just so proud. I can't believe it. People say to me, Diane, you know, you've created a really, really nice company here, and it's like, but, you know, we're not done. I mean, we're just getting started, and the world is changing so fast, so we've got a lot more to learn. We're really all about finally giving consumers a voice giving consumers a voice, period. And really helping companies change everything about how they listen to and engage with customers. That's what we're trying to do. Personally, I'm trying to get 100 CEOs out of this company. I don't want them to leave now, but I want to be one of those companies that's, I think you call it a platform company. So, you know, 50 years from now when I'm 107, I want to look at 100 companies out there that Communispace spawned, where the people who are leading them say, well, you know, I loved building Communispace so much that I got the energy and the confidence to do it for myself. I mean, what I'd really like to do. And it is fun because I've told people that, and I have employees all the time saying to me, by the way, I'm going to be one of those 100, which is very cool. There's sometimes when I'm feeling like, you know, what do I do now? I go, rah, be bold. For us, I know this sounds hokey, but you know, we're the happiest when our clients get awards. If a client gets a promotion, or if they're standing, you know, up on a stage, and you know, they're like holding an award, and people are snapping pictures, and they think, oh my gosh, they wouldn't be there without us, and it's a great night, that's the best stuff.